Hi everyone, my name is HudatQueen94. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan, as well as being a huge fan of the NFL. And yes, I'm filming another outdoor video, which may not be the best idea because of how windy it is. The breeze picks up and it makes everything much colder. I mean, it's not really that bad. I think it's like 40 out here, but when the wind starts picking up, it, gets to like 30, 38, 39, wind chill. I do want to apologize in advance if you hear some trains or some planes. I checked the radar. I don't think that there are any planes coming in. If they are, you will hear them pretty loudly because they'd come in from that direction. But this is a kind of a flight path. So if you do see, or you do hear some planes, that's because this is, but I don't think anything's coming in. But we have a relatively short video to do, and hopefully the wind will not be a huge pain right now. But yeah, so let's get to it. Week 14 has come and gone, and I have to say, the 49ers are really good. They're really talented. And I mean, I feel like the 49ers are what I wish that the Saints could have been this season. I mean, they got a really great defense. They have great offensive weapons. And, they figured out the quarterback situation without having to go the Baker route, which I love Baker. I always have. But, this Purdy guy is really talented. And what an embarrassing loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they can say whatever it is that they want to say about us, but that loss right there, that is a humiliating loss. And, I mean, listen, we didn't let them score 35 on us. And if it wasn't for a lucky touchdown, they would have been shut out too. So, but that's just the NFC South for you. I don't really think that any team has any right to talk about any other team. If you're in the NFC South, you know your team is bad. But we do have a game to talk about, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Falcons at the Saints. This is obviously a team that we faced already, and we faced them under different circumstances. Obviously, it was the first game of the season, and if you don't remember, Mariota was a starter, and so was Jameis Winston, so that will not be the case in this game. We were down 16 points going into the fourth quarter, and then we made a miraculous comeback with Jameis Winston, and so, we rallied back to beat the Falcons 27-26, in what would be probably the wildest ending to a Saints game this year, in my honest opinion. In that game we started off slow, but, the way that we rallied back just gave us all false hope, because obviously the Saints have just not been that successful. And as I mentioned, it was a slow start, being down 16, but still you saw the progress, and it was week 1, so last I checked, the Saints are weirdly in contention still, but they need a lot of help, which is they need to win. They need to win out, and I think Tampa Bay has to lose one or something. I really don't think that that's going to happen because the Saints are not good at helping themselves. But a win against the Falcons is always a great win, because I believe that I think that they would tie the all-time series, and then when I think they're tied, and when I think they're behind. So I think it would tie, and then I think they'd jump up one. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a big win for them in that aspect. I think it's an all-time series that would be tied if they win this game. So let's kind of break it down a little bit. This is definitely a different Falcons team since the one that we faced in week 1, and I'm not really gonna lie, they're pretty inconsistent to kind of get a read on. And I really have not been paying attention to the Falcons this year, so I've seen like a handful of their games. They haven't been primetime, teams. So, don't hate me on that. I haven't seen any of their games, and, kind of rightfully so, like the Saints. But, I feel like in order to be successful against them offensively, it starts with up front. The play calling has to be better. We need some smart, original trickery, in-your-face kind of plays that I think would help balance everything out, and we need to take those chances again, and not play too soft. The addition of Taysom is a great mix, and it always seems to work against the Falcons. And using him the way that we should might be our key to success. Offensively, because the run game You know, they're good at allowing backs to get a lot of yards, and well, we haven't really been successful in that aspect. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, that they're not great at defending the run, and granted, I know that Kamara hasn't been great, and you know, and we did lose Mark Ingram, but we just activated David Johnson, so I really would like to see what he can bring to the table, and I think that this might be a good game where we can run on them, but Kamara has to do better. You know, he can't cough it up, and again, I'm actually really excited to see David Johnson. I mean, we used him, I think, once in a couple games back, so it'd be nice to see him, see what he can do. And I know he played for Houston, and I know he was with the Cardinals, so yeah, I'm starting to get really, really cold here, but yeah, I think that will, I think if we start the run game early, I think that will help us, you know, kind of start, you know, if we utilize it early, that'll help balance things out. But who knows, this could be a really great game for Kamara. You know, Dalton is set to start, as, you know, should be a shock to nobody. And we need to do a better job of protecting him, and on his end, he needs to not take those sacks, and he needs to know when to throw the ball away. You know, they're okay defending the pass, especially more so recently, but these receivers need to take a pill. They need to chill out, and they need to relax, because they need to catch these passes in order for us to be successful in the passing game. So no more drop passes. So this could be a game where Olave has one of his best and biggest performances. You know, hopefully that there's better chemistry between Dalton and Landry. You know, I would love to see more of Shaheed. As I mentioned, I think Shaheed has been one of the more consistent players on the roster, and I'd like to see more of him, but that's just me. You know, I don't know about Juwan. I don't know if he's coming back for this game, but it'd be a great addition, because I feel like Andy Dalton and him have this really great connection and chemistry. If the offense can play with poise, confidence, and composure and not turn it over, we could have a lot of points in this game. Now, maybe that is wishful thinking, because they haven't allowed teams to score more than 25, but if the Saints play the way that the Saints are supposed to, I think that this is a game offensively. If we play, you know, in balance, we could score maybe 30 points. Now, I'm going to say that, probably have to eat crow, but, you know, either way, we have the weapons to get it done, especially against the Falcons. They have an okay defense. So, either way, on the flip side, the defense is playing against Desmond Ridder, a rookie from Cincinnati. Now, I took the liberty to kind of look at some highlights that he did in the off-season. Couldn't really get much on that. And I'm not going to look at his college, you know, highlights, because that's college. This is a different ball game. There isn't really a lot for me to go off of in this game, so I can't really analyze his performances. I mean, I think he has an arm. I think he can throw. He is a runner, and that right there might be the concern for me. Because the Saints can't contain the running quarterback. They never really have been able to for almost a decade, I feel. You know, I don't think that he's going to be like Purdy. I don't think that he's going to have that great game like Purdy did. But, you know, knowing what the Saints have been able to allow these rookie quarterbacks to do, who knows, right? You know, we can make that kid look like a rock star. But anyway, if we play solid football and defense, we can make his debut a living nightmare. And I wish the kid well, but not in this game. They haven't exactly run the ball well enough for me to be concerned, and, you know, the Saints have been pretty good for the last couple of weeks of not letting backs get, of not letting backs get 100 yards since week 10. Again, that's the only thing that really concerns me, is the fact that this kid can run. So I'm a little worried about Ridder in that aspect. You know, I'm not really all that concerned about Patterson or Algiers. Maybe Patterson. I think Patterson's an okay runner. Well, he was in Minnesota. But if the run defense does what they're supposed to, then not really overly concerned with that. But they may rely on the run a little bit more, depending on how this kid comes out swinging. So as far as the passing game for them, it's crazy because I look at these names and I'm like, I don't know who half these guys are. Like, I know who Drake London is. They have a guy named Olamide Zacchaeus, and I'm like, apparently he's been in the league for quite some time. That's new to me. Anthony Frisker, I think, Michael Pruitt, none of these names really jump out as to this guy is gonna burn our secondary, but it's always the least likely of guys. So, again, I'm winging it because I don't know what to expect from this rookie, and I don't know who's going to be. They don't particularly have a go-to guy. You look at their numbers, and different receivers have different numbers for different games. I don't know the deal with Lattimore, so in terms of his return, I think if the Saints do what they're supposed to on defense and deflect passes, play the ball, get a few turnovers, sack, don't allow a big play downfield, stop the run, put pressure on the quarterback, don't get the huge penalty, and put them in a position to put up points, play man, we have a great chance of winning. If we play smart and clean, this is a winnable game, and we can play spoiler to the Falcons. Even though I don't really want the Bucs to win the division, I kind of don't want, to lose to the Falcons to make it that much more difficult for the Bucs. But Saints are 5-point favorites in this game, and I think that that's fair. As I mentioned, even though the Saints statistically still have a chance to make the playoffs, I'm throwing in the towel already. What is the likelihood that we're gonna win out? And I think Tampa Bay has to lose 2 or something. What's the likelihood? And I think we do have Philadelphia, so either way, I think that that's all I have to say. I wanted to keep this relatively short, and I'm freezing because of this stupid wind. But once again, my name is Queen94. I know it's a relatively short video, but since I did a long one last week, I'm only just going to talk about this game, which I feel I did. I'm also on Twitter under the name Olave Saint Savior. But either way, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's okay. If you'd like to subscribe, I much appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and go Saints. Who dat, baby?